Hello, everybody. Welcome to or welcome back to Life of Push. Now, if you're into anting, then you know what this means heavy rain, especially in nuptial flight season, which it is here in South Africa. So, us ant keepers know the day after the rain is the day to go out. So, that's exactly what I did. And I stumbled upon this beauty just as she was taking her wings off. Now, she was huge. Here's a picture for reference. Why a lighter? Because everyone knows how big a lighter is, obviously. But anyway, I thought I'd help her out, so I gave the ground a gentle stab, a little poke, and as you can see, she thanked me and started digging her fountain chamber. Now, for you ant enthusiasts, this is the Carebara vidua, also known commonly as the African thief ant or locally as the edible black ant. Now, I'll get into that later in the video why they are called the edible black ant. But yeah, they are found throughout Africa, the eastern, sub-Saharan, and southern parts. And in some places, they are actually in local places, they're endangered. But again, we will get into that later in the video. So as we watch her dig her fountain chamber, I thought I would tell you a bit more about this species and why ants in general have nuptial flights and why they have wings and why do they take them off. A lot of whys to go through. So, for those of you who don't know, nuptial flights are when ant colonies produce, flying ants. Now, these are actually called elates, and they are the reproductive of the colonies. Now, these are queens like this one you're seeing dig right now, and then you have drones, males, which their only use is to mate, and then they die. Yeah, it's kind of sad, but it's true. All workers are female, so that's just how it is. But yeah, so this is how colonies pass on their genetics and, carry on their species' future. So these nuptial flights happen on days or weeks of the year, usually after heavy rains, as you just seen in the summer or rainy seasons. This is so the soil is, already damp, so the queens can easily dig. Like if you look closely now, another ant came to say hello. If you look closely, you can see the wet soil the queen is actually pushing up. If it was dry, then she wouldn't be able to do that. So that is literally the reason why they wait for the rains. So yeah, during these nuptial flights, queens and drones will take off from different colonies flying, usually triggered by air pressure, rain, and scientists also think pheromones, something chemical wise, but they're not actually too sure. And then when they do find each other, I'm not sure about this ant because how big she is, but usually ants do mate in flight. And then what will happen is when the queen has mated with enough males, she'll then go to the ground and then the cycle will start off as this video did with her taking her wings off and then starting to dig her fountain chamber, which she will stay in there for the rest of her life. Well, except from if they're nomadic species, which this one isn't. Oh, look, we've got a little cameo from, I think it's a shiny sugar ant. So after digging her fountain chamber, this queen will then lay her first batch of eggs. And when they hatch into larvae, the food she feeds them is actually her wing muscles, which she's metabolized into a rich protein soup. So this is one of the reasons why they get rid of their wings for this reason. And again, they don't need them, so they'll just be in the way. But yeah, I think that's quite cool. It's amazing to think that this queen, if she survives, will end up being the sole creator of a colony with numbers reaching hundreds of thousands, if not over a million. So you're probably wondering how big her workers actually are, seeing as I've said how big she is. So her workers are not actually big. They're only between 3 and 5 millimeters, which I've don't know if I already said. The queen is around 20 to 25 millimeters. The drones are around 10 millimeters, sorry. And then yeah, the workers are between 3 and 5 millimeters. So as you can see, although the queen is a brownish black with a red tint, the male is black and orange, has an orange abdomen, orange yellow abdomen, and the workers are orangey yellow in color as well, which resemble the male and not the queen. And a fun fact about this queen, well, not a fact, a myth. People used to think because there's such a big size difference between the queen and the workers that she used to actually take workers from her old colony on her back on the nuptial flight because she wouldn't be able to feed the larvae and new workers herself, so she'd need the workers to do it for her. Which is a cool myth, but it's not actually true. But yeah, a fun fact is that the size difference between her and her workers is one of the biggest in the ant kingdom. So yeah, this is one of the special species, and she is one of the among the biggest ant queens in southern Africa as well. So yeah, video full of facts. Every day is a learning day. That's what I say. Sorry for the rhyming. So I don't know about you, but I think that rhyme there deserves a like if you're still here. So go on, drop a like. Anyway, back to the video. So it seemed like it wasn't just me watching this queen dig her new chamber. She actually had another 8 eyes on her. And here they are. Now I don't know what species of spider this is. I tried to use my app to find out the sea cap, but it didn't tell me. But it's a quite cool looking spider. Pattern on it's quite cool. So if you do know what kind of spider that is, drop a comment down below. So now let's get down to the names. You're probably wondering, why is it called the African thief ant? And that's because it actually makes its nests within or right beside termite mounds and just, raids their colonies and takes the workers and the larvae, and it just does that. As well as it does eat other insects as well, along with plant matter and other sugary foods for the workers to, carbohydrates to keep them going. But yeah, it's quite a good tactic living within your prey's home. And then their other name, which you've probably guessed why they're called that, the black edible ants. Now, yeah, it is true. So when these nuptial flights happen in some places in Africa, especially Kenya, Lake Victoria, I'm pretty sure it is, these are a delicacy and the locals cannot wait for the nuptial flights to happen. And when they do, they go out and catch them. I'm not too sure if they cook them. I'm pretty sure they do cook them or just roast them. I'm not actually too sure. You'll have to look it up. And then, yeah, apparently these ants are 40% protein and 40% fat, if I'm not mistaken. So quite nutritious. And I did watch one video of someone trying one, and apparently he said it tastes a bit like smoked bacon, which is quite interesting. But I have tried termites since being here, but I don't think I'll be trying a really big ant. I'm not gonna lie, I might pass on that. So I'm gonna wrap this up, and I'll come back later to see how far she's gone, if she's still visible. So I'll leave a little mark so I can find her again. But she's got quite far, and it was quite interesting watching how they actually dig when you can actually see how big, when the ants are small, it's hard to see what's going on. So when they're big like she is, it's quite cool. And my knees are actually hurting as well. So yeah, I'm going to go and take a walk, see what I can find. And then, yeah, like I said, I'll come back and I'll show you. So I was gone for about half an hour. And as you can see, there's the mark I left. And she's completely buried herself now. So she's probably got quite far. So yeah, hopefully nothing digs her up like a mongoose. And then she can start her colony. But that's it from me. So if you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more animal videos from me. But yeah, Life of Kush, I'm out.